Let's talk about the Salt New York and Hannah Louise Poston collaboration. I have 4 shades from the collaboration. I got the highlighter from the Light Quad. Then this is Orchid, Oyster Fig, and Aniseed. In this collaboration, they did have a different formula for both the highlighter and the lip and cheek creams. So Hannah essentially did a light, medium, and deep version of the same colors. So this is supposed to be kind of like a brown, this is supposed to be a nude, and this is supposed to be a grayish, and then just adjusted for like medium skin tones and then deeper skin tones. I prefer the look of the light highlighter instead of the medium highlighter that went with this set. The highlighter is supposedly a little bit softer, more wet and dewy compared to the original highlighters in the Salt New York range. And then the lip and cheek creams are supposedly more matte and more stiff. These are kind of what the colors look like. This is the highlighter, Orchid, Oyster Fig, and then Aniseed. Orchid, Oyster Fig, this is Aniseed. These are desaturated tones, so these are some beautiful colors. I'm going to share some application videos of me applying them so you can get an idea of how the colors look on me. I have more of like a neutral to olive-ish skin tone. These colors are really beautiful. They are sheer and buildable. I think there's a bit of a disconnect between the swatches that you see on the website and the actual performance of the colors. They're not as opaque as the swatches kind of seem. They're a very heavy-handed swatch to show the color and show the differences within each color, but they're very much sheer and buildable. Like a balm sort of formula. A slightly stiffer version of the regular lip and cheek cream, which again, I'm not too surprised about because obviously this is still a lip and cheek cream. I would probably still set them with powder if you are oily like me. This doesn't mean they're not pigmented. I think that we have to keep in mind that these are desaturated tones, so it's not like you're gonna get bright colors. I do think you have to build up the pigment unless you go like one set deeper. I have the medium quad, right? If I want more pigment from the get-go, I'd probably want to go to the deeper quad. I powdered one side and left the other side unpowdered. I did find that the powder muted the color a little bit. The formula did still wear pretty well over the course of an 8-hour day. This is how much is left over. There are a few things I kind of want to critique about the launch. I don't love the packaging. This is supposed to be like a recyclable packaging, but I find that it's a little bit difficult to use. First instinct might be to like push on this to like pop it out, but no, that's not the case. On the back side you have this flap, and then it's attached just slightly at part of the edges. Not all the way, but just at like specific points. And you're supposed to kind of push through to kind of pop it, and then you pull it out. Or you can just rip it out this way. But I found this actually quite difficult to open. I felt like it took a lot of effort to pop all of the pieces out. I almost wish that this was packaged in like a sleeve. Like a sleeve would be a little bit easier to access. And I think you can still find ways to make it low waist. Just kind of a minor issue I have about the packaging. I wish that they had described the formula on the website. When you look at the website, it just specifies the 2 formulas were developed for the collaboration, but I don't think it goes into what the actual formulas are. You look at the listings for the regular lip and cheek cream, you can see the lip and cheek cream is described as being hydrating, sheer, and buildable, but there's no description of that under the Hannah Louise Poston listing. I also feel like they missed an opportunity to list the shade descriptions on the website. From what I can tell, the shade descriptions for the lip and cheek creams are only on the Instagram. I haven't seen it on the website, and I can't find any like official shade descriptions for the highlighters. Like I've seen the shade descriptions that Hannah has used when she was describing them in the video, but I think if you're going on the website and looking at this listing, I think it's a little bit more tricky to decipher the listing and decipher the different colors. I do think the highlighters are really beautiful. I kind of hope that they add this to the main range, like make this a permanent addition. Did you end up getting the collaboration? Are there any colors that you like?